Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is our fourth lecture of Computer Science class 9th. Students, in this lecture we will discuss about flowchart, including its definition, importance, requirements, symbols and how to draw a flowchart algorithm, including its definition, its role in problem solving, formulation, efficiency, and how to develop an algorithm of a problem. It's an interesting topic. I hope at the end of this lecture you completely understand these topics. A flowchart is a graphical representation of the steps to solve a problem. We use symbols for each step, and these symbols are connected with the help of arrows to show the flow of processing. In the problem solving, flowchart can be used to plan a solution. If flowchart is already there, we can quickly understand the way a problem is solved. It is more effective to visualize a solution graphically than a text. A graphical representation also makes it effective to verify whether a solution is correct or not. To draw a flowchart, we need the following points. Number 1. Input. Input means taking data from the user. Number 2. Processing. The processing steps are used for performing calculations and storing the results of calculations. Number 3. Decision making. To determine whether a statement is true or false, and taking appropriate steps accordingly is called decision making. And the last one is output. Output are used to display information, and usually this information exhibits the processed results. Flowcharts explain a process clearly through symbols and text. They use special shapes to represent different types of action or steps in a process. For example, flow lines are used to determine the flow of steps in a flowchart. Terminal symbol indicate start and stop of a flowchart. Process symbol represents operations to change values. Connector symbol is used when a flowchart doesn't fit on a page. Then we use connector to connect parts of a flowchart on different pages. We can use alphabets and numbers in a connector symbol. Input output symbol. It indicates the input of data from user or displaying results to user. Decision symbol. It shows a conditional operation that determines which one of the two paths to take. The operation is commonly yes or no. Students, after learning the symbols of flowchart, now we are in position to discuss the types of flowchart. Number 1, formula based or top to down flowchart. Number 2, decision based or conditional flowchart. Number 3, loop or repeating steps. Students, now we will discuss an example for understanding the concept of formula-based flowchart. This example is about converting Celsius temperature into Fahrenheit temperature. Here students, I will request all of you to understand flowchart with great concentration because it will help you in writing algorithm. So let's start. Remember, our first step should be to find and underline the input, processing and output from the given statement. So our input is Celsius, processing is word convert, output is Fahrenheit. Now let's start the flowchart with symbol of terminal. Give the input in the form of Celsius in input symbol. The next stage is processing. We put the formula of conversion in processing symbol, and at this stage Celsius will be converted into Fahrenheit. So after processing, the final result will be displayed in output symbol as a value of Fahrenheit. And finally, we stop the flowchart with the terminal symbol. Students, now we will learn the role of decision in flowchart. We will determine whether the given positive number as input is either odd or even. Start the flowchart. Firstly, we will provide a positive number as an input. After giving input, we will decide whether the number is odd or even in a decision box with the help of mod function. Students, mod function will divide the number by 2 and will get the remainder and will assign this remainder to a variable rem. Here we find the output, either the number is even or odd. If the remainder is 0, then the number will print as even number. But if not, means the remainder is non-zero, then the number will be printed as odd number and our flowchart will be ended. Students, this flowchart is loop-based. It displays your name 5 times on the screen. Let's start the flowchart with terminal symbol. Again, we will take the name as the input from user. Now the processing is to count the name 5 times. This loop will work in 2 parts. In first part, we will count the number of times that a name is going to print on the screen. For this, we will set variable count as 1. In the second part of the loop, we'll print the name on the screen in an output symbol. Variable count will increase by 1. At this stage, we will check and decide whether the variable count is less than or equal to 5. If the answer is yes, then we will go back for printing the name second time and again we'll increase the variable count by 1 and then again check the condition. So the name will print again and again till the condition is true. When the value of the count will be more than 5, then condition will be false and loop will break and flowchart will be ended. And name will be printed on screen 5 times. Let's have a look on advantages and disadvantages of flowchart. Advantages of a flowchart. It's easy to draw, easy to understand, easy to identify errors if any, easy to observe flow from one step to the other. Disadvantages of a flowchart. It's time-consuming process, it's difficult to modify, it is not suitable for very large problems. Students, after learning about flowchart, we will learn about algorithm. So before writing the program code, we write the solution of a program in technical way. An algorithm is a set of steps to solve a problem. It is written in a natural language, so it is easily understandable by humans. Usually, an algorithm takes an input and then after processing produces some output. Role of algorithm in problem solving. In problem solving, algorithm provides a step-by-step guide to the problem solver. It is a complete description of the solution. Students, before learning the algorithm, it is better to learn about the formulation of an algorithm. Now let's see which reserved words are used in algorithm. Number 1, start. It is starting point of an algorithm. Number 2, input. It is used to get input from a user. The third word is set. It is used to update the value of existing data, and it is also used to give name to data in computer memory. Number 4 is if else. It is used to check the condition. Else part of the condition is optional. Next word is go to. It is used to transfer control to a certain step of an algorithm. Next word is output. It is used to display values. The last one is stop. It is the termination point of an algorithm. So by using these words, we can easily formulate any algorithm. Efficiency of an algorithm is measured on the basis of two methods. Number 1, number of steps. An algorithm is considered more efficient if it takes less number of steps to reach the result. Number 2, space used in computer memory. An algorithm using less space in computer memory is considered more efficient with respect to memory space. For easy learning, we will take the same example as we use for flowchart. Our first example is algorithm about formula-based problem. Now let's write algorithm and try to write it with the help of flowchart. So flowchart will also appear as helping tool. Our first step will always be start. In second step, we will take input Celsius. In third step, we will calculate the value of Fahrenheit with the formula Celsius. In fourth step, we will get the output as Fahrenheit. The last step is naturally end. Now student, we will write algorithm about decision. And the problem is print a given positive number either odd or even. Step 1 is start. Step 2 is providing input a number. And third step we will decide whether the number is odd or even with the help of mod function. Students, I have already explained this function in flowchart. The fourth step we will get output as even or odd. And the last step is end. Students, this is the last example of algorithm and we will write the steps about printing your name 5 times on the screen. First step is start as usual. Second step is providing name as input. In the third step, we will set a variable count as 1. Students, in the fourth step, we will get the output by printing the name first time. In fifth step, we will increase variable count by 1 and it will be now 2. At sixth step, we will make decision after checking the value of variable count. If it is less than or equal to 5, then we will go back to step 4 and we will repeat step 4 and 5 till we reach at 6th step. And then we again check if condition is false, means the value is greater than 5, then loop will break and algorithm will be ended. Advantages of an algorithm. It is easy to write, easy to understand. To solve large problems, algorithms are helpful. Disadvantages of an algorithm. It is difficult to modify. Showing the flow from one step to other is not very easy. Usage of goto makes it difficult to identify errors. Students, this time we have home assignment for flowchart and algorithm. You should note down these assignments and try to solve it. Inshallah, after doing practice of flowchart and algorithm, you will be expert in drawing a flowchart and writing algorithm. Thank you students for watching this lecture. Take care. Allah Hafiz.